One sec.
Yeah, just go ahead and drop the link in the chat. Anything else, just before we jump into that, anything else anyone want to go over in particular?
Yeah, we already talked a bit on school. You mentioned that you would be able to help me out, like come up with a specific plan with, because my goal is to get a position before summer ends. I don't know if you can remember our conversation, but
Yep, I
I
remember.
would really appreciate if I could have like a specific plan, because if I have that, I feel like it's something easy for me to follow. So yeah, whenever we can do that, that works.
Yeah, we can talk about those details right after we listen to this 1 minute video.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you said this one was for a specific company?
Yeah, I think it was a platform of Imangazi.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a listen.
Hey Max, nice to meet you. I'm Lucian, I'm 26 years old. I'm currently located in Romania. Been closing for about 3 years now and generated well over $3 million in revenue over these past years. How I would describe myself as a closer? I would say by two things. First would be coachable, and secondly would be perseverant. Now, why do I say that? Is because I love being coached from people that are higher level than me in sales. And throughout these years, I've invested a lot of my own money, regardless the training that I received from the company that I worked in, into sales training, mindset coaching, social skills, and perseverance. Why? I have numerous cases of people that I didn't close in the first place, and followed up with them relentlessly for even up to 1 to 2 years, and got them over the fence to buy in the end, like after this long time. Now, why do I think I'm the best fit for this role? I think I'm the best fit because, one, I have mastered the B2C space throughout these years, and also I've worked with a lot of B2B closers that have generated over 8 figures and closing themselves over 9 figures transactions. So I think I could really take that value-based selling approach that I learned from them, connect it to the emotional game from the B2C space, and make the most out of the leads that will come into my calendar. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Overall, I think it's a solid video. It's a solid video that you submitted for that specific company. Did you have, obviously you're gonna create a general one. Um, did you have anything that you had planned to say for that general 1 minute video?
You mean for this company specifically?
Not for this company. I'm just saying because obviously you're not going to use this one as you start applying for other
Yeah.
roles. So you said you didn't create that one yet, right? This was your most recent one.
I have a couple of ones, but like if this is 7 months, those are even older. So I wouldn't
Mm.
say they're relevant anymore, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely want to see you create a new one. I think overall the way you did that one was pretty solid. But yeah, let's see how your newer updated one is, obviously with all of your new experience that you've had since, um, and see how it is.
Okay.
But I think it was a good video.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Malak, am I saying that right?
Yeah, that was pretty good, but just so it's easier, you can call me Mel.
Mal? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
perfect.
So Mal, yeah, let's talk about a kind of game plan for you. You said you wanted to
Yeah,
land a role by summertime. So I guess in the
yeah,
next few months here, 2 to 3 months. Give
yeah.
me a rundown on kind of what you're doing right now, and then kind of what you're looking for in a role, and then we can talk about what that might look like.
So I mentioned that I purchased one of your courses on, I don't know how to pronounce it, Udemy.
Udemy? Yep.
Yeah, and I watch the videos. I'm not done with it yet, just because I recently purchased it, and I just take notes. And I also watch like YouTube videos of other people that are starting their journey, just so I can take note from them and see like what I should be doing as well, um, just so I know what to work on and like what my weaknesses are, when it comes to sales. And obviously, since I'm already in the community, I definitely want to reach out to other people that are also starting out or probably have more experience than me, just so I can practice um, practice through like mock calls, just because I obviously don't have experience with remote closing. but I feel like the more practice, the better, obviously. So that's what I want to start getting into. Yeah, I already do have some sales experience in terms of like retail. And I know they're like both completely different things, but I feel like I've gained some like skills on like how to communicate with with like a
Mhm.
different variety of customers and like how to deal with certain objections. Um, but I definitely want to build up on that just so because I feel like with high ticket sales, like you have to be like way more on top of it just because it's different compared to retail. So yeah.
Well, as like what kind of role are you looking to land?
Um, Based off like the research I've done and like hearing other people's experiences, I've noticed that a lot of people mention it's better to start with setting and then move into closing. So I think I'm not sure exactly because I do want to land, I do want to get a closing position first, but I think I don't know if it would be better for me to start with setting first, just so I could like ease into it. But yeah.
Well, there's a lot of factors to look at, right? So when it comes to closing, why do you want to start with closing? Which it's totally fine to do that. Just help me understand kind of why that and what kind of situation you're in work-wise right now.
I want to get into closing just because I feel like I have what it takes, obviously, after I get like the training done and like work on what I need to work on. Um, I'm like a people person. I like to communicate with others. And so looking into it and like seeing other people's experiences, um, I just feel like I would be good with working with closing. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, not really. Can you repeat the question actually?
Yeah, so I just so you want to get into closing first. Do you feel like closing is the role that you would enjoy more than appointment setting? Because if that's the case,
Yeah,
if you're not able to see yourself being an appointment setter full time, really focusing there, I don't think you should like try to be a setter then become a closer if
right.
that's what you want to be, right?
Mhm.
They're two different roles. They're both good roles. They both have their pros and cons. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I just wanted to make sure, like closing, that's the role you would want to go for, and becoming an appointment setter would only be something that you do as a means to eat, like
Right.
get into closing easier. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you should probably just train for closing then in that case,
Yeah.
and go straight for that opportunity. Some of the things you're going to need to get into a closing role. One, what does your kind of setup look like? Do you have a place to take calls from?
Yeah, I have my own room. So yeah, that's what helps. I also I go to Cal State LA, so there's like a pretty big library and like there's a lot of spaces at the school where I can just have my own quiet space. I mean, I already have a quiet space in my room, but like if I really want to like get into the mode, like I feel like it would be better for me to be on campus just so I can be more focused, if that makes sense.
Would it be like a closed door room kind of situation? Because the most important thing is that, like, when you're closing, the business owners, they're going to want to see that you can be kind of like in a business setting. I don't know if you could see, is it Lucian? Is that how I pronounce your name? Just want to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah, so like you can see Lucian set up here, camera straight on, blank wall in the background. You don't have to have anything fancy, but decent camera, like pretty good camera quality, good mic quality. That's like the bare minimum if you want to land a closing role is,
Right.
you don't want it to be like if it's in your room, that's okay, but you don't want to have like a dresser or a bed in the background. If you could just have
Yeah.
a blank situation where it's like a blank wall, camera
Keep it
is
simple. Yeah.
level height, decent microphone, decent camera quality. It's not fuzzy or old or anything like that. Do you have at least that setup going for you?
Yeah, 100%. I can do that. I can just do that in my room, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because yeah, that's going to be the bare minimum. Um, Now for you in particular, you don't have the track record to get on an offer in terms of just saying like, hey, I've done 3 million in sales, I've done this amount in sales. You have retail experience, but it's not the exact thing. So what you're gonna want to think about is how do I prove to business owners that I can sell? And there's
Yeah.
a few ways to do that. One is obviously just having the track record. Secondly is having things like tracking sheets and, commission checks, screenshots and stuff like that. But since you don't have that stuff, you're really going to want to put together a portfolio with your role plays and get very, very specific with how you do it. Is there a
Right.
specific niche that you want to sell in as a closer?
Probably like working out or like setting up like a meal plan because that's something I'm working on with like myself and doing research with. So I feel like that's something I'd be interested in. Yeah.
Like fitness offers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't have to do it just like you don't have to only apply to fitness offers, but if that's the main thing you want to go for,
Yeah.
um, landing a role without experience is going to come down to like how well you communicate, how well you show that you have good communication skills, how well
Right.
you show that you have sales skills, and then another thing you could have going for you is your passion and knowledge of the industry you want to sell in. So I've
Absolutely.
seen people get hired because they were just super passionate about helping people in fitness, even though they didn't have the sales experience. The conviction is there, so the business owner knows that they'll
Right.
sell well, right? So you're going to want to lean on that as much as possible to land your first role. And you can do
Mhm.
that by instead of just doing random mock calls or doing mock calls pretending you're like selling a sales course, like what most people do, do your
Yeah.
mock calls mimicking that you're selling a fitness offer, right? And
Mhm.
then make sure that you put it together in a way where you're taking clips from those role plays to pull out the different parts that business owners actually want to see.
Right.
So some of the best portfolios I've seen is, hey, here's a 10-minute clip of me handling price objection. Here's a 10-minute clip of me handling fear objection. Here's a spouse objection. And then here's a clip of me doing discovery. Here's a clip of me kicking off the call. And just splicing up your role plays and taking those clips into a bunch of separate parts so that business owners, when they're looking at your role plays, they're not like, okay, I gotta sift through Mal's hour-long role play. They could just click
Yeah.
and see exactly what it is they want to understand
Yeah.
that you can do. And then, I would also have some pitch clips in there, like here's an example of me selling a fitness offer, right? And if you have a bunch of those, they can see, oh, this person knows how to pitch a fitness offer. This person knows how to handle objections on a fitness offer. This
Right.
person, you know what I mean? It's very, very specific to what they would want you to sell so they can see you in that role. um, the main thing we want to do is lower the perceived risk it would be to bring you on because in most cases it's a gamble for the business owner because you don't have a track record of previous sales history on an offer. So we want to make it seem as less of a gamble as possible by
Right.
showing, okay, this is how I sell. And the main thing the business owner is going to be looking at is the way this person sells in alignment with my selling ideology, right?
Absolutely.
So do you handle objections the way that person would handle the objection? Do you pitch the way that person would pitch? That's what they're kind of looking for in those examples. And that's why having those examples is huge because if you don't have it, you don't have any examples, you don't have any track record, then they just kind of got to guess. And that takes extra work or they got to bring you on a
Right.
role play to do that. And sometimes they're not always going to be willing to do that much work when they could just hire the next person who, oh, look, they've sold 5 million in fitness offers. Let me just hire that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
So we want to make it as easy as a decision as possible by having those things in place. And the 1 minute video is going to be your bread and butter because that is where they see, okay, does Mal have great communication skills and does Mal have the proper setup? One
Absolutely.
mistake I see a lot of people make
Yeah.
is they have a great setup, they have everything in place, but then they do their 1 minute video like on their iPhone
Yeah.
and it's not that what they're saying or how they look is bad. It's just the business owner doesn't know if you have the setup required to do the job. And again, you're making them do extra work to go and figure that out, which means your 1 minute video has to be so good that they're willing to go the extra mile to reach out to you, not knowing if it's going to work out because you might just not have the setup to take calls from. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
so that's the first thing you want to do is have a great 1 minute video, film it as many times as you need. You can bring it to these calls, you could put it in the community, I can review it, and just get one that looks and sounds really, really good. Selling yourself as best as possible. Even though you don't have the experience, there's lots of ways you can showcase the experience that you do have, and we can script it out
Right.
together if you'd like. making sure you have a stacked portfolio with everything that they might want to see, from objection handling to pitching to all of that good stuff. If it's niche specific, that does help because obviously they can see that you're part of the niche. And then lastly, when you show up to those interviews, really, really lean on your work ethic, really lean on
Yeah,
your passion for the industry in particular, and your passion for helping people and conviction for why these kinds of things do well. And make sure you do your research on the company so that they see that you actually care about working with them in particular. Does that make sense?
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. One question I do have, like when it comes to like the mock calls,
Mhm.
what kind of calls would you recommend that I start practicing in terms of obviously
Yeah,
closing? Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
closing calls. So I would start off just making sure that you get the whole structure down, the full discovery, everything like
Mhm.
that. Um, but don't be afraid to chop up your calls with someone, like get on with someone and say, hey, I just want to work on discovery, or I just want to work on this one objection. You're
Yeah,
gonna see a lot more progress by practicing like one objection 10 times in one session than doing the full call once. Right. So
absolutely.
if you're gonna do like a 20 to 30 minutes of just discovery, do that 2 to 3 times. Do, the kickoff of the call, do that 5 to 10 times, do one objection 10 times. Like really try to break up the different parts of the call. Like if you want to do goals section only for this call, or problem section only for this call, or consequence section only for this call, and just get the reps in on each and everything and then move on to the next. That's how you're gonna, like, you want
Right.
each piece of the call to almost become muscle memory because you've done it so many times rather than
Yeah.
trying to do the whole thing every single time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's kind of like what is it called? Sorry, I forgot the word, but it's like automatic and like you already know what you're trying
Yeah,
to say, basically. Yeah.
100%,
Autopilot.
100%. And then like 1 to 2 things per week. Yeah, it's going to be hard to improve on more than that,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Try
Mhm.
to improve on just one thing every single week and just really focus on that rather than like, hey, I've got these
Yeah.
8 things I want to fix. I'm going to fix it on every single call. It's going to be very, very difficult.
And then move on to the next. Yeah, I feel like that would be a lot easier for me anyway. Yeah.
100%.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. I know we got a lot of people have joined the call since everyone's got their cameras off. Everyone's hiding today. Um, what other questions do we have, guys? What else do we want to go over?
I have a quick question.
Yep.
If I have a pause and let's say from the last offer that I've been on, do I think I should like address it in an interview or just not mention it?
Well, if they ask about it, you can tell them why there was a pause. If they don't, then it's not a big issue.
Okay,
Yeah. If they ask about it, sure. But if not, then it's all good.
got it.
Cool. What else we got? Yep. Anas, you got your hand up. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yes, that's my name, Anas.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing, Ty?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite all right, man. Is it Ty or TA?
Ty.
Ty. Okay, great. Yeah, I had a question, but I was going through the repselect.app platform.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually subscribe to it. I just made an
Mm-hmm.
account and I was, just going through, uh, just checking out the platform, and I saw that there was this cash collected and experience, uh, section, and I don't have any experience closing. I've worked primarily as a cold caller and a warm caller for a agency as a
Mm-hmm.
setter, basically. So, what do you think I should, like, how should I handle that? Not having the
Well,
experience part.
if you did cold calling, you generated some kind of revenue, right? Like I'm assuming you set appointments then for other people to close.
Yes.
So then whatever they closed would be the revenue that you generated towards the business.
Oh, okay, got it. Perfect. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, like that counts as well. It's just, and that's why it doesn't say like cash collected, it's just revenue generated. Because if you were an appointment setter and you set, let's say $1 million worth of deals that ended up closing, that still counts towards the revenue you've generated as an appointment setter. It's not, you don't only get revenue generated if you're a closer.
Yeah, 100%, man, get it. And I had one more question regarding the same platform.
Mhm.
Do you think there are like roles that require the closer to work in time zones other than the US, like let's say UK time zone or Australian time zone?
Yeah, there's UK and Australian companies on there. Not as many, but they're there for sure. Especially UK. There's a good amount of UK opportunities on that platform.
Perfect, man. Got it. Thank you. Yeah,
No
that's the
problem.
question for now.
Awesome. Boris, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, right. Yes, I had in my case, I actually do not have that appointment setting experience rather than affiliate marketing. So how to land a role as a setter first? Even I took the course like both appointment and closing mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Like beginner experience only with appointment setting for affiliate program. So what can I do? What steps and like how to build a roadmap to land a position as a
Mm-hmm.
setter?
You said you do have um experience
I'm
in setting for
currently
affiliate.
yes for another academy.
Okay. Well, that would be, you know, sales experience that I would definitely utilize. It's all going to come down to how you present yourself, how you frame your experience, how you sell yourself. So you want to make sure that in your 1 minute video, in your portfolio, in your resume, whatever you put together, that you sell yourself well. The roadmap is going to be similar to what I went through with Mal there. You know, for you in particular, finding an appointment setting role is a little bit easier than finding a closing role. Now, for a lot of people that don't have a lot of experience, sometimes you are going to have to jump on an opportunity that maybe isn't with the biggest company. But there are really, really good opportunities that you can still land. It's all going to come down to how well you sell yourself. So let me ask you, what kind of role are you looking for?
Setters.
Um, is it like any specific niche, any other specifics other than that? DM setting, phone setting.
About marketing on financial services, not
Okay.
click. Like
And
it means like financial advisor or insurance. I assume like that's the field to start.
insurance.
Insurance. It's called financial
Okay. So
because
you wanna sell insurance, you're saying?
no, I'm talking about realistic field goals that I can win the role. Realistic needs specific skill set, even for appointment setter and experience, professional. So what else? Financial services or like payment services for businesses, B2B, insurance. So on LinkedIn, most services that I found that sell insurance. There are,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking about.
You're thinking about being in that niche. I mean, have you started applying to roles?
Picking services like lead generation, pay ads, campaign.
Okay. Have you started applying to roles?
Yeah, but most like ended up like academies. You join to school and you got to basically buy course, then like job
Okay, so
guarantee.
so kind of like bait and switches, like not real job opportunities you've been applying to.
Yeah, but they all advertise, on Facebook groups, like for instance.
Yeah.
Even now,
Facebook groups, they have there's a lot of spam and fake jobs there. You're gonna want to be able to identify the fake ones from the real ones for sure. Um, One thing that's going to be really good is not relying solely on the job posts, but targeting businesses directly that you want to work with. That's what I would suggest as well is going on LinkedIn, Facebook, Ad Library, Instagram,
marketing
wherever. Sorry, what did you say?
digital agencies, because that's what either insurance or digital marketing. That's what I
Yeah,
specifically.
there's companies that have setters and closers for all of those things. So yeah, I mean, you can target digital marketing agencies, you can target insurance if you want to work in the insurance industry. But yeah, like I would target those businesses directly and go after them. A good place to find digital marketing agencies, other than like LinkedIn is going to be one of the easiest places, but a good place to find digital marketing agencies in particular would be like Clutch.io. It's a digital marketing directory where it has a bunch of agencies and it shows their services and all that stuff. So you can look there and find a bunch of companies and then pair that with LinkedIn to search for the sales managers or the founders, CEOs, recruiting teams. It really just depends on the size of the company of who you'd be reaching out to directly. A good sign would be if they're big enough to have a sales manager, is I would reach out to those companies and see if they have open positions.
If they have sales manager. So
Yeah.
businesses are LinkedIn and reach out directly. And what is matter? How you present yourself.
Well, yeah, you're going to want to show proof that you can sell, kind of like what I said to Mal, role plays, a great 1 minute video, whatever you can to put together and showcase that you have sales experience. Once you land that first role, the rest gets a lot easier because then you're just building your track record with that role. One thing that you can do that I've seen a lot of people do and it works is just documenting your process as you're going through, as you're like on a roll and performing, documenting that publicly, as you're learning new things each and every day, as you're growing as a sales professional, documenting that publicly, and really building your brand as a business that's offering a sales service. You kind of want to see yourself in that light, see yourself as, this is my company and I'm offering a sales service to my clients. And each company, what do they have to do? They obviously have their delivery, which is you selling things, but then they also have their marketing, which is posting on the timeline, which is, doing their outreach, which is landing interviews, seeing that as your sales calls. There's lots of things you can do to kind of start to build your brand to make it easier to land roles
So
when
what
you're
are
posting
the
these
steps
things.
specifically to start to build on brand? What then good? Outreach, LinkedIn,
Say that one more
offering.
time, sorry.
I mean, what are the steps to build on brand? Outreach, businesses directly.
Yeah, so there's two things you could do. There's the outreach side, which is the more direct approach to landing opportunities. And that's more of like short term, I'm gonna grab a bunch of interviews and away we go. Then there's the long term side, which makes things easier in the long run, which is the brand building side to really establish yourself in the market as a sales professional. And what everyone here should be doing is both of these things simultaneously, because what you're going to see is the direct approach gets to the opportunities and interviews now. The long-term brand building approach gets you inbound opportunities and higher quality opportunities, both in the shorter term and longer term, depending on, how you do it. Now, for the direct approach, obviously you can research companies, you can reach out to them directly, you can reach out to recruiters, all of that outreach stuff. But then on the brand building side of things, it's just like how any company would build their brand. You're posting different content to show that you are an expert in whatever the niches you specialize in and what it is you do, which is sales. So some of the things you could post, for example, Mal was really interested in fitness offers. Her posting about fitness, showing that she has a passion for it and knowledge of it, is going to make it easier for her to land a fitness offer. Not only that, but her posting about her sales journey is also going to make it easier to land a role, because fitness business owners are not only going to see that she has sales skills, but also see that she has fitness knowledge. Therefore, landing a fitness sales offer is going to be a lot easier for her. So she can post about industry specific stuff in her niche, which is fitness. She can post about role plays and different things when she gets one done. So if she does let's say she partners up with Lucian and does like a great objection handling role play with him, she can post like, hey, just had a great call with Lucian. It was awesome. We went over this. He really grilled me on that. and then post a clip of it or just post that. She can post something that she learned today about sales. You can like there's tons of things she could post. She could post a win about, you know, hey, I was able to land XYZ offers or XYZ interviews. This is how. Or, you know what I mean? She can just start to post multiple things about her
You mean
sales journey to build her brand. Does that make sense?
to post it on Facebook or on LinkedIn?
Say that one more time. You said on LinkedIn, or are you asking where to post it?
Here on Closers College community,
Yeah, I would post
when you
it.
say
So I would do
post,
both. I would do both, right? There's lots of business owners joining Closer College community and like looking for reps. So I know a lot of people that you see some people already in there kind of posting their updates and stuff. You see a lot of those people, they land offers from
uh-huh.
people just DMing them directly. So that is it is a good place to post it in the community. You could also just network with other reps by doing that, but also post it on something like LinkedIn or Facebook, somewhere where it's also public for people to just discover you and find you as well. And it can be as simple as,
Gotcha.
okay, just post what you worked on today when it came to sales or when it came to learning or growth or anything. It can be personal development, sales, whatever it is, just so people start to know you as someone who is dedicated to growth and person in your development and is always improving their skills. So they start to see you as that type of person. You're going to start to see more offers come in inbound and more people respond to your messages when you do outreach. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
Cool.
So both sides. And so that, and also the matter of fact, so I'm looking forward with my plan and to move to other country. And I need to think how I can find offers in Europe. Like I'm in America, but I need to research.
Yeah, the two simplest ways, and then I want to answer Lucian and Joseph's questions. So I'll end it with
Like
this.
UK market or
The
in America.
two Yeah,
But
the two simplest ways to find like American offers, Europe offers, just I mean any offers you'd like
uh,
is one, you can just search
all over the world.
by, hold on, I think you're glitching out there. But one, you can search by company on LinkedIn, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can go through different companies and choose which country that the companies are from. So you can literally just type in closer jobs, United Kingdom, and see what comes up. There's lots of jobs that'll come up there. And two, you can also go to the Facebook ad library, go to whatever country you want, or with just the UK or England or wherever, whatever country in Europe that you'd like, and then type in whatever niche you'd like, and you'll see the companies in that area that are running ads. And if they're running ads, then they're probably a good chance that they're hiring appointment setters and closers, and then start to reach out to those companies because they have good lead flow usually if they're running ads. So those are the two main things I would do there.
Oh, the school library.
Say that one more time. I can
You
barely hear
say
you.
the tool. You say Google Ads library, the tool for
Facebook.
search.
I would say Facebook ad library.
Oh, Facebook Ads library. Wow.
Yeah, because then you can see what businesses are running ads on Facebook, and there's a lot of coaching businesses on there. And if they're running ads, that means they have decent lead flow usually. So I would check there for sure. But Joseph,
Gotcha.
you had your hand up, man. What's up?
Thank
Yeah, hey
you.
Ty. Question. As far as when you're applying on Rep Select, what is like the best method? Do you think is it best to go through the straight, like I know you obviously you have the job offers, but then you also have the pipelines. Which one do you think you get a quicker response time from? Would it be the job offer, so you guys post directly, or should I go through the pipelines?
Well, you should do both.
Are any of the job offers that are on RepSelect, are they from the pipelines, or these are totally separate from the
They're
pipeline.
separate.
And then my
They're
next,
separate from those companies, yeah.
as far as the time zone, um, do we put our time zone in our red flag profile? Should we put our time zone, or should we put the time zones that we're willing to work?
The time zones that you're willing to work. Because your time zone's pretty irrelevant to the time zones that you're willing to work, unless they're the same. You know? I mean, if you live like on the East Coast or West Coast, like somewhere in Canada, US, like the time zone that you are normally awake is fine for like 90% of the businesses, but it's usually that's more so for people like maybe in India or other places that don't necessarily work the same times or don't live on the same time zone, but are usually willing to work other time zones if it's a good enough offer, if the offer makes sense. Any other questions, Joseph? Or are you good?
I'm good. Thanks.
Cool. Lucian, what's up, man?
So I've been updating my profile on RepSelect, and I wanted to ask you, can we do like a more deep dive into the portfolio, like to know exactly what I should include there? Besides, I don't know, videos of objection handling, uh, what other things should be in there?
Sweet. Yeah. Aside from the role plays, which again, get as specific as you can with clips of objection handling, clips of you pitching, clips of you doing discovery, clips of you kicking off the call, and then you can also put like full calls there as well if you're a closer. If you're a setter, it's the same thing, full setting calls, clips of you setting the appointment, clips of like I would put clips of like handling difficult clients, for example. Like if I was an appointment setter and sometimes when you dial someone, they pick up the phone and they're like, and they try to like rush you off, like show clips of how you handled that. You know what I mean? Just get really creative with the amount of stuff you put there. Outside of just the role plays and clipping it up, I would also put either direct like copied links or screenshots of my tracking sheets. So let's say I'm a closer and I, was on an offer for 6 months and every month I took like 100 something calls and closed 30% of them. That's all in a tracking sheet somewhere. Screenshot that tracking sheet and have that in there so they can see, okay, cool. This was his close rate. This was his offer rate. This was his show rate. This is how he performed. This was the revenue generated, everything. So screenshots of the tracking sheets is another. Another would be screenshots of commission checks if you made good money. For example, if I was a closer that made like 8, 9, 10K plus a month on an offer and it was 10% commission, chances are I was personally generating $100,000 or more a month for that business. And a good way to prove that is to just show your commission check. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can say that you collected 100K a month and whatever proof you have with that, definitely put that. But if you can show that a person or a business was paying you 10K a month, that's evidence that you collected a substantial amount of cash for that business, right? So I would do
When
screenshots of that. You had a question there?
when you say commission checks, you mean more like the invoice that I give to the owner or the bank transfer of like the
Either
money?
or. Either or.
Okay.
Could be both. Could go on Canva and be like, here's the invoice and here's the money coming in, and then obviously block any personal details. Like you could just whatever, just enough to make it believable, you know. I
Okay.
mean, don't inspect element it, but be ethical, but you know.
And and one additional question to this is, given the fact that my invoices and payslips are in a different currency than
That's fine.
USD, or should I like
I'd put a note below it, like this is XYZ USD. Just put a note.
okay.
Like go on Canva and put the screenshots, like the invoice and then the money coming in your bank, and then like put like a text box that says XYZ USD or something. I'd do that.
Okay. And about the tracking sheets, I think I only have like something from last year. Do you think it would be relevant to, I don't know,
Anything
contact
you
the
have.
owner?
Oh, you mean
And
contact and like ask them for it?
Yeah, for the, I don't know, the other 3 years, would it be
Yeah.
necessary or?
It's like, for example, remember, if you see, you got to see yourself as a business owner, right? You're the
Yeah,
business owner providing a sales service. All of these things are your, case studies, right?
yeah,
Like these are your testimonials, these are your case studies, these are your proof of work. And these things, it's literally money, because the more of them you have, the more and better offers you'll get. It's not the end all be all, just like how for a company having great testimonials doesn't mean you're immediately going to make tons of money in your business, but it sure as hell does help when people are deciding whether to buy your service or not. You know what I mean? It's like if
yeah,
you go to a company, like think about it for yourself. How much, if you're going to buy a program, how much does case studies and testimonials help in your decision making process? It's a pretty big deal, and they live almost forever. Like you can have a case study that's 3 years old and it still is going to help someone decide to buy your thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I would like, yeah, take the time to go reach out and go get it, because it's going to serve you forever, you know? So yeah, I would definitely do that. And then if you can, it might be too late, but for those of you that are on offers now, you know, depending on the company, sometimes when you close a deal, they've got like automations where the deal comes into Slack, like after you process the deal. And then sometimes you've got team members like being like, oh, that was awesome, Lucian, great close. And then, maybe the deal screen, like maybe it says like PIF or whatever, or split pay, all of those things. Like I would screenshot that and put that in your portfolio, because it's just proof that you can sell things and that you have sold things. Again, it's all about increasing the likelihood that you would perform well on your next offer. And the easiest way to do this is to show that you have performed well on a previous offer. So if you have like, if you're on, as soon as you get on an offer, I would be screenshotting everything. Every time I got like a sale and I posted in the chat that I made a sale, and everyone on the team is saying, great job, great sale, whatever, screenshot that, screenshot the commission checks. Every time you collected cash from a client, and even like the notification that the client paid, screenshot that. And then you can say, look, this is literally screenshots of all the cash I've collected, and you can see every single person I've sold. Like that stuff helps. It's all just proof. So yeah, you like fill it up with as much as you can. There's no such thing as too much proof. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, makes sense. Okay, so
Cool.
role plays, tracking sheets, commission checks, screenshots of Slack reactions. Anything else?
Tracking sheets, role play, Slack, commission checks. Um, any like as much as you can. I don't know. I mean, that's what all I got on the top of my head, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I got on the top of my head.
Okay, great.
Cool. Cool. And then Parth, is Parth still here? Parth, you direct message me here. Said you're based in India. Do companies or clients hire setters or closers who are Indian nationals? I have a bit of an accent, but it's not very strong. Just want to check how realistic this path is for someone like me. It's definitely possible. I've seen a lot of people from India be successful in sales. It's just going to come down to your communication skills and your setup look, you know? Like if your internet is not the best, if your connection is not the best, if the camera quality is not the best, then obviously it's going to be harder. If your English is not the best, then it's going to be harder. It's just like anyone from any country. If your connection is good, if your camera quality is good, if your setup's good, if your mic quality is good, if you speak great English, then you're going to be fine, you know? Is it more difficult? Yeah, I would say it's more difficult because some businesses just don't know how to pay someone internationally. It depends on the company. Some companies, they're like, okay, we only hire people from here for like billing reasons. It's not necessarily anything to do with other than that. But you can definitely get it done. You can definitely get it done if you have the skills and you build the brand, showing that you can sell and are a great salesperson. Now, if someone was getting into it for the first time, I would say the easiest role to land, and this is probably the easiest role for anyone to land, would be DM setting. building a track record through that is going to make it an easier gateway in. If you don't have, let's say you don't have the camera quality and you don't have the best connection or mic or setup or anything like that, I would start off like DM setting because you don't need any of that stuff to get things kicked off. But if you do have that stuff, then yeah, man, you can definitely get it done. Did you have any other questions aside from is it possible? I'm not sure if you're there. Cool. Well, oh, it looks like you're typing. All right, cool. You said that's the only question. Cool. Joseph, did you have another question or is your hand still up from last time?
From last time.
Cool. Only other people we have left in here, Carlos, Lisa. Anything you guys want to go over for the last 10 minutes here? I know, Lisa, you're at work. Feel free to type if you can. Carlos, what's up, man? If there's anything from you, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, no, I think like what you said earlier was something that I'm gonna do more like focus on, like focusing when practicing the mock calls, just do like one section at a time instead of like trying to do everything at once. So yeah, I that was a great recommendation. I'm gonna do that throughout this week. Um, yeah, other than that, just applying. I've been in a few interviews. I have more coming this week, so just keep doing the reps, I guess. Well, if I can ask you, like, how would you double down? Like, let's say I want to accelerate the process even more. Like, what kind of things do you think I should be doing on a consistent basis, and how many reps of that thing, let's say, I really want to accelerate the process?
It depends on where you are at specifically and what you want to achieve. I mean, accelerating the process just mean 10, 50, or 100xing the things that move the needle. So if you don't have a role and let's say your portfolio is all set up and looks good, 100xing the process would just mean doing 100x the outreach, you know? Like
Okay.
for example, a lot of times where like if I wanted to land a sales job by tomorrow, I would just spend the whole day reaching out to businesses and networking with recruiters. You know what I mean? I would to the point where I would just cold call businesses. Like I would reach out to them via DM and then cold call the right people. I would reach out to multiple people at an organization that I wanted to work at, reach out to the CEO and the sales manager and the sales reps on the team and see if the sales reps can connect me with the sales manager or whatever. Right. So it's like speeding up the process just means doing more of what it is. That's like saying if I wanted to make a sale today, what could I do? It's like make more offers, offer more people and someone will say yes, you know? So yeah, if you wanted to speed up the process or the timeline to get a role, reach out to more people, reach out to more
Okay,
businesses, get in touch with them. Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Recruiters are going to be like really, really good for that. Like if I wanted to, for example, if I wanted to land a role again by tomorrow, like I gotta think of it two ways. Okay, what is the person that could give me the most leverage on my time? Who could I reach out to that would be like reaching out to 10 people, but I'm only talking to one? Be a recruiter. Because if a recruiter says yes, and that recruiter is like recruiting for 10 different businesses, how long would it take me to reach out to 10 different businesses or that one recruiter? All right, let me reach out to that one recruiter, right? Now, I would find the recruiting companies and then I would reach out to every single recruiter at each recruiting company. Because usually each recruiter has their own set of 5 to 10 businesses that they are recruiting for at each company. If they're a big company, let's say they've got like 50 businesses they're recruiting for actively right now, and they've got 5 recruiters on the team, I'm going to reach out to all 5 recruiters, you know?
Mhm.
Um,
And so for reaching out to these recruiting agencies, like I know, for example, for looking for sales job offers, I go to Facebook groups where they consistently post like that. I go to maybe LinkedIn or Instagram. But let's say for recruiter agency, what would be the like same way? Just type recruiting agency in LinkedIn. Like, what's the best strategy there?
Yeah, so provided I have well, this is part of what's in the pipeline rep select, you got a list of all the names of the recruiting companies, but provided I
Yeah.
have a list of all the recruiting companies, I would take the first company and I would say, okay, what is the easiest way to find people that work at a company? LinkedIn's probably the best bet. And then second would be just Googling it. Or sorry, second would be Facebook, and third would be like just Googling it. So let's say I would take the first recruiting company, throw it into LinkedIn. Then every single company on LinkedIn has that people section, right? Click people, scroll through it. If there's a lot of people, you can filter by job title and type in recruiter, then type in talent, see what you get. Type in, you know, HR, see what you get on all of those, right? If you type in those, you'll probably find a bunch of recruiters. And then I would shoot them a message on both LinkedIn and Facebook, because if you know their name, put their name into Facebook, you can probably find them there too. So I'd add them as a friend of Facebook, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then I would check their profile to see if they've posted about any jobs they're actively recruiting for. If there's jobs they recruited for and I want to, they're recruiting for, if they posted about it and I want to work with one of those jobs, then I would comment on that post, like the post, go back to their DMs, follow whatever instructions they put. Usually they said, if you want this job, do this. Follow the instructions. Don't skip that step, because if you don't follow the instructions, they're just going to write you off and then you burn the bridge with that recruiter. So just follow the instructions to a T, whatever it is they say to do. Um, if they say don't DM me, then don't DM them, right? If they say DM me, then DM me. If they don't say anything about whether to DM them or not, follow whatever instructions they do have and DM them, right? And if I were to DM them, I would say, let's say I already submitted application. Cool, great. I would DM them and I would say, hey, say you're the recruiter. I'd say, hey, Carlos, saw you posted a job about XYZ. I think I would be a great fit for that opportunity for these reasons. Again, you want to make their job easy. Tell them why you're a good fit. Don't just say, hey, what jobs do you have for me? Their job as a recruiter is to not only find the right fit, but it's to find the right fit for the right offers and do it quickly. So the more you can speed up that process, the more they get paid, the more they like you, the more they bias you the next time or whenever, right? So never DM a recruiter and be like, yo, what jobs you got? Hey, I'm a setter. Can you hire me? Hey, can you hire me for something? Don't do that. They're just going to be like, I don't like you, right? So see if they posted about a job, reach out to them directly and say, hey, Carlos, saw you posted about XYZ job position. I think I'm a great fit for it for these reasons. Here's my 1 minute video, my portfolio, everything about me. And that's where you could put your like rep select share profile link or your Google Doc, whatever it is you use. And then you could say, hey, let me know if you have any other questions or how I can help you speed up the decision-making process, or if you need anything else from me, something like that.
Mhm.
And then boom, leave that there. Come back tomorrow, bump up the message if they didn't respond. Comment on whatever their stuff is. If they've got any posts or if they post consistently, comment on their stuff. So that's how I'd reach out to a recruiter. If on the flip side now, I go to the recruiter's profile and there's no posts anywhere. I just see that they're a recruiter, but they don't have any posts about new jobs. There's nothing.
Mhm.
Then that's when I would DM them. And I'd say, hey, Carlos, saw that you are a sales recruiter. Is there any job? Like, do you have a list of the job opportunities that you have available right now? Would love to go through it and see if I'm a good fit for any of them. Please let me know where I can apply for your list, for your pipeline. And then they'll send you their pipeline. And then when they send you their list of pipelines or whatever, then you go through it and you do the following. You find one, follow whatever rules are on it, then shoot them a DM, say, hey, I just applied for XYZ role, just submitted my application, think I'm a good fit for these reasons. Here's information about me. Let me know if there's any additional information or anything else you need. Let me know what the next steps are. Thank you. And go from there. Go on to the next recruiter and do that for, even if it's the same company, do that for every single recruiter at that company. Once you've done it for everyone at that company, go to the next company. And I would just, if I wanted to get a job ASAP, I would just spend the whole day just reaching out to recruiters like that, and go from there.
Cool. Thank you, man. Great advice.
No problem. Any final questions before we hop off? Joseph, what's up?
Okay, so I'm on RepSelect.io. I'm trying to figure out which in the pipelines do you believe are the ones that will actually get on a call with you? Like I feel like Zach Brown, I've applied to his pipeline before, but I've never been able to get on a call with him, speak with him, so I don't know.
Did you reach out
Closer,
to him?
yes, I've messaged him on Facebook DM.
Cool.
Um, is is there any other recruiters or pipelines where they're more willing to like at least um jump on a Zoom call or something like that, or a phone call?
We'll
Feels like
reach out to
most.
reach out to all of them. And like if they don't respond back, it's because you didn't supply what they needed for whatever they're hiring for right now. So follow up, keep reaching out. Again, if it's like a bigger company like Close.io, for example, like there's like 10 recruiters that work there, you know? So if you submit it to their general pipeline, sure, but then go on LinkedIn, go to people and reach out to every single recruiter that works there. It's gonna take some work, but you'll get a role a lot faster. You'll get on a call with someone a lot faster, you know?
Are there any I don't think you probably are there any ones that require you to pay something? I feel like there was one pipeline. I'm not saying it was on your platform, but
I've made I've well, I can't like I've done the best I can to make sure that none of the platforms on there are like paid things. They're all like legit recruiting companies. Like these companies charge the business owners and then they place reps there. That like if they're charging you for placement, then it's not like it's probably not even a real like recruiting company. Because it's almost impossible to fulfill on guaranteed placement. Like as if you suck, you suck. Like how can I, you know what I mean? You can't, there's no amount you can pay me to force put you on a great team if you're not good enough to perform. So the companies, they usually like recruiting companies will charge the businesses to do that. So like that's why like the only thing we charge for is to skip the search process for you. We can't guarantee any kind of placement or anything like that. So yeah, I would definitely make sure that you're reaching out to all of them, reach out to every single one, and continue to improve your profile so that you look good enough for them to want to bring you on board.
so far I've like this past week I applied to the 4 offers on the RepSelect platform. I'm definitely gonna apply to way more this week.
Yeah, like
Um,
4 is a super low number.
yeah, it's just because I'm trying to focus more on the appointment settings because I don't have as much. I feel like I don't have as much in my portfolio about the sales
Is
calls I've
that
done or role plays.
is that because you want to work in appointment setting, or would you work in a closing role if you could?
I do plan to upload more to my portfolio as far as like mock calls and things like that. I just don't have it up yet. I have more so appointment setting examples in my.
Well,
Um,
I'm just saying for your reasoning for only applying for appointment setting roles, is that because you want an appointment setting role or you just don't think you could land a closing role?
I don't think I can land a closing role.
So you would take a closing role if you got one?
Yeah, definitely.
So, dude, just apply to them. The worst they can say is no. Like apply. Why not? Like if it's better, like it's better to apply to 10 roles and 4 of them be appointment setting and 5 or 6 of them be closing than apply to 4 and just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Because like who knows? What if you land one? You
What
know?
would you say is a good number as far as because I'm because usually what will happen, I'll be on the rep select and it'll have like maybe three or four, I believe, jobs that you guys posted for that day. And then some of the others behind it would maybe be like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And my thought is like maybe because it's 2 or 3 days ago, that's probably like too late, or maybe they've already filled the position by that time. So
In two
I'm trying
days,
to. Okay, let's say realistically, like 7 days ago or like 2 weeks ago. It'll
it
be
doesn't matter.
that's more
I would
realistic.
I would apply to jobs that are 3 months old. Why not? They have the least competition. It's more about just knowing where to apply than how new is the job, you know? Forget how new the job is. Like, yeah, apply to the new jobs, of course, but don't not apply to the jobs that are 1 month, 2 month, 3 months old. Just because a lot of times the jobs that are a few months old, maybe the rep that they did hire didn't work out and they're right about to go like post again or go back to the pipeline to find more. They might just be at that moment. There's so many times where I've been on a team or something where, we brought on a rep, maybe they didn't work out, or maybe, they did work out and they're crushing it and it's time to scale and it's time to bring on someone else. And boom, someone pops in right at the right time and they skip the whole line because they just reached out at the right time before they even got a chance to repost their job opportunity. So apply to the roles you like, reach out to the businesses for the roles you like. Don't worry too much about, oh, this one was posted today, that one was posted last week. Don't worry about that too much.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna apply to way more this week. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Apply to the roles you like. You can apply to as many as you want. If it's a job you really like, take your time with it, reach out to the person directly, add them to your engagement list and stay in touch with that business owner. Build a relationship for the long term, nurture that relationship. Remember, if you see yourself as a business owner, you see the businesses as your clients, you see landing an interview as your sales calls, how would you treat the situation, right? It's like you're managing your pipeline of deals. Nurture the relationship if you have to. If let's say it's a great offer, a stellar offer, team's crushing it, guys are making great money, you really want to be on that team, and you reach out to them, it's an old post, and they say, hey, we're not hiring right now. Well, you're just never going to reach out ever again. Like they're going to be hiring eventually. So stay in touch with that person, stay in touch with that business, comment on their posts when they comment, keep them on your list, keep them on your radar. And, let's say they're ready to hire in like 5 months. If it's an opportunity where guys are crushing, making 20K a month, would it not be worth just staying in touch with them and then jump on there 5 months later? Like, why would that not be worth it? Like, you know what I mean? So I would just reach out to businesses I like, regardless of how old the job post is.
Are there any job posts that are directly linked to like whether it's a LinkedIn post or a Facebook post?
What do you mean?
Like you know how like sometimes some businesses or entrepreneur might post a job offer on their actual Facebook page, like say, hey
Mhm.
guys, I'm looking for an appointment setting. It's like an actual post, and you'll see like some people comment under
Mhm.
it. Um, are any of the jobs that are on Rep Select like that, where they're linked to a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes, but I put the top contact there, so you can just directly reach out to the contact, or you can check their page if they posted about it. Like most businesses, when they're gonna hire, if they are posting it on like a job site, they're posting it everywhere. They might post it on LinkedIn, they might post it on Facebook, they might post it on Rep Select, they post it on lots of places.
Cool.
Cool. Any last questions before we hop off?
How to leave work. I'm like,
Welcome,
leave me
welcome.
alone. So I've been trying to get just a traditional SDR BDR role.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's because I don't have referrals. I'm a little bit older. I don't know. Things just haven't been going later. So you said DM setting might be to tap in. Are there people is that a full-time position?
Well, you said you're looking for like an SDR or BDR role?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what do you think is the biggest struggle for you when it comes to landing one?
Well, definitely time. I work on site. Obviously, it's a hassle trying to squeeze in interviews. Like I've been doing, it's fine if I have to do like a recruiter screen. It's like, 25 minutes during lunch or something. But
Um, yeah, I work in a very small office, and it's just hard to get off. And doing interviews, of course, in my car is not ideal. So
Hmm.
for me, it's just right now it's time, and um, I think just the fact that I haven't had that sales role. And I do have sales experience, but it's not really on my resume because it's like it was more than 15 years ago, and it was like
Hmm.
retail. It wasn't like SaaS.
Yeah, the time issue is tough, if you just can't make it to the interviews from like your setup from where you want to be, to showcase that, you're in an environment that you could sell at. It is a little bit difficult. Are you looking to jump into a role full time and just do a transition, or are you looking for something part time?
Um, well, full time. I'm a single person, so yeah,
Hmm.
need full time job. So.
Yeah. And so are you landing a bunch of interviews, but you're struggling to actually make them? Is that the main thing that's happening there?
No, I've been my resume done several times, but the one I'm using currently gets, I think, fair traction. I just started doing like an auto apply, and I hate to do that, but just with my time constraints, I would love to personalize every resume, every cover letter, but I'm afraid I would never apply to anything.
Well, how
Um,
much time do you have available?
well, I don't even get home till around 6.
Hmm. So on a weekly basis, how much time would you say you
So
have available?
basically, a couple hours a night.
Okay. I mean, that's enough time if you just like you don't have to spray and pray to land a role. I would get very, very targeted with who I reach out to, um, and select the businesses that, you really want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you can do
I do
quality
try
over
to do both.
quantity.
I do try to do kind of both.
Hmm.
It's like one week I'll maybe, I don't know. Truthfully, it just depends on what, I've got going on. Um, it's a lot though. I mean, it's
Try to
a
set a consistent time. Try to set like whether it's a hard 30 minutes every other day, like try to set a consistent time that you can dedicate to whatever it is you need to, whether it's building your portfolio, whether it's doing role plays, whether it's applying for roles, whether it's networking with recruiters, reaching out to businesses. Try to set like a dedicated, consistent time so that you know exactly how much time you're spending there. Um,
Mhm.
and the thing about like SDR, BDR roles, they're great because they have, like a base, like a good base pay and stuff like that. They are a little bit harder to land if you don't have necessarily a bunch of experience in that role. Um, so like again, if landing the interviews, showing up to the interviews is the problem, then you're probably gonna have to try to find some ways to work around that. If getting the offer is the problem, if you're not struggling with like showing up to the interviews, but getting the offer is the problem, you could
Uh-huh.
try going for, maybe some part-time cold calling roles, for example, to build up some of your track record and show some experience. And that would make it easier to land like an SDR kind of role.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to do that. Okay. Well, I do appreciate your Monday calls, and I'm trying to stay encouraged. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, next time bring kind of like your resume and stuff and let's take a look at it and see what we can do. Sound good?
Okay. All
Cool.
right. Thank you.
No problem. William, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Ty? Just wanted to see what your opinion would be like on like a first time closer offer. Like, what do you think would be the highest probability to get one without any previous experience? And then like the highest probability to actually like succeed in that role.
You're saying what are the chances you even land a closer offer?
Yeah, without like any experience. Like I've set appointments before. I've done appointment setting, but like not I don't have like a massive track record. So I'm wondering, I'm like maybe I can go into a closer position immediately. Um,
Oh, for
but
sure
I'm
you
wondering
could.
like yeah. So
100%
I'm
you
wondering
can.
I'm wondering like which one has like the highest probability of me actually like getting it and then succeeding in that, you know?
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at like fitness, biz op. but I just don't know which one, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, it depends. Like every business has their own kind of qualifications and rules for hiring someone. Usually, like, well, it depends on the type of business you're going for. So if it's like a bigger company where maybe like if guys on the team are doing really, really well, guys are making like 20, 30K a month as closers, they might require someone to have like a year or two or a million or 2 million cash collected and closing experience before they hire you. Um, Roles that you could probably land a lot easier would be, maybe smaller companies or solopreneurs or, companies where maybe you're in an offer where you have a lot of knowledge on the subject matter. For example, you said fitness, right? Was that one of the
Um,
ones you said? Or
no,
what were the
I
niches you said?
was, yeah, I said like fitness and biz op. I
Yeah.
was just mainly just looking at like probability of actually getting one, like where they hire inexperienced closers more, or like they tend to, or they're more willing to hire inexperienced closers. And then like the
Well,
actual lead
B2C, I
flow,
think I think B2C offers people are more willing to hire
for sure, for
inexperienced
sure.
closers. BizOp offers they're more willing than like B2B. I mean, the probability is high as long as you have great communication skills and you can showcase like that you have everything needed to perform on the role. Out like if the track record is the only thing. Some businesses and some business owners actually prefer hiring people without closing experience because they don't come with the same biases. It all just depends
Right.
on how you actually sell yourself. If you get on the interview and you sell yourself well, no reason why you wouldn't be able to land one.
Yeah. Um, got it. Yep, thanks. But you don't have any like recommendations on what would like edge out other niches and other offers?
So you're asking like what niche in particular would be
Yeah,
the
like
highest
what
chance?
yeah, like what offers,
Oh,
like what
okay.
niches, yeah. Yeah.
I would
Well,
have to
I know it's
say,
B2C, but I'm just like which one, there's like wholesale, real estate, finance, this, that,
well,
know.
from what I've seen, fitness and relationships.
Yeah.
Like dating, fitness has been the easiest ones. Um, BizOp real estate is a good one. So not like we work with real estate professionals, lead gen and stuff, because that's kind of B2C, B2B, but more like BizOp where we help you get into Airbnb, for example.
Yeah, like
Um,
the whole like make money online kind of
yeah, the
space.
make money online niche, like trading,
Yeah.
agency stuff, like that kind of stuff would probably be the easiest one. It gets a little harder if you are like B2B,
Yeah.
or anything like that, but BizOp, make money online, that would probably be the easiest thing there. Because like a lot of that stuff
What do
you're
you think is
dealing
that
with
like the
like
very
younger
go ahead.
guys anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So they'd hire someone like that. But what were you gonna say?
No, I'm saying like what do you think is like the top? Like my highest chances of getting a closer role, like what niche do you think? Or you don't really have
It's
you
hard
don't
to
really have anything
say.
in mind. Yeah.
It's hard to say. I've seen the most beginners land fitness offers,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
But I
that's what I
can't
was thinking as
also
well.
say but I can't say 100% like that would be the easiest one. It really comes down.
Right.
I don't think that's really it. I think it comes down to other factors. But
Right.
yeah, I think if you
Okay.
went all in on one niche, fitness would probably be the easiest one to land as a beginner.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it more comes down to the size of the business, whether it's easier to land, right?
Mhm. What do you suggest for me? Because like I just joined like this program like not well your school community like a week ago
Hmm.
or so. So I'm just looking. I'm like, do I go to appointment? Do I go into closer? Which one would I go into?
Well, what do you
Um,
enjoy?
I don't know, like, because I've tried like the high volume outbound calls, like solar stuff like that, and like I feel like I just get burned out a lot. But I've never had like any inbound. And I feel like
Mm,
I would succeed in that a lot more. But
like an inbound setting role or inbound as a closer?
um, as a closer, but I've never tried inbound setting as well. So like I would do that. I would probably look at that as well.
Yeah, dude, I would like you should just go for what you want, or what you at least think you would want, because you can
Right.
land any of them. You can land any of
Okay.
them, but you want to like
Well,
prepare
because
for
like
what you want.
the only reason I'm asking is like I've seen other people be like, don't go setter, just go straight to closer, you know? It's like
Yeah, but
kind of waste
what
time.
if you enjoy setting? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you love set, like there's lots of guys, like I've seen setters that make 10, 20K a month. They love setting. They don't want the pressure of closing, having to close the deal. They like the freedom of being able to just dial whenever. The only thing the business owner cares about is that 3 to 5 appointments get set per day. They can take breaks whenever, wherever. And there's some people who, they don't want to dial a bunch of people every day. They don't like that kind of grind. They just want to, manage their pipeline and, maybe dial here and there, but really just like kind of show up to the calls that they have on their calendar when they're booked in. They can kind of set a very structured, specific schedule for the day. Like, dude, it's not like, wait, this one's a waste of time, that one's not. It's like, what lifestyle do you enjoy more? Or what role do you enjoy more? Because you can do well in either. You can make the amount of money you want to make in either. It's easier to make more money as a closer for sure, but if you can, what do you enjoy? What do you want to do? It just comes down to that.
Right. Right. Got it. Yeah.
And
I
if you
have to
don't
think
know,
about
then
that
pick one,
one.
you know?
Yeah. Got it, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Any final questions before we hop off? Everyone good to go?
Quick question.
Yep.
Yeah, so I noticed on recording looms that I've been sending out, like I can start off pretty high energy, and then like as it's going through, like my energy, you can clearly tell it's like dropping, and then like I start getting in my head, and I'm like, man, how do I stop that? And it's like constant. Like I'll do like 30 takes, and it's still like high energy, and then just boom, like you can clearly tell it's like this guy's getting in his head, and it's like I start sounding less and less confident. So like, is there any like tips you recommend to just stay confident the whole way through and just push out that energy?
Why are you recording so many looms? Are you like recording a new loom for every job post or?
Yeah, it's just like well, I'm recording a lot just because like I'm doing multiple takes. Like I've only sent out about 3 so far for like interviews I've had.
But like
But it's just like
you're not making like, okay, you don't have like a general loom that you send out to most job opportunities?
I have one, yeah. But even
Okay.
that, like I've like recorded it multiple times and it just still doesn't something just doesn't seem like it just kind of you could just really clearly tell it's like this guy might be kind of new. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you definitely want to work on it so that you don't come across as new. And, if your energy is down from recording looms, then take a break and get your energy back before you record another one. Now, looms is not something that you gotta, like, you don't need to record an individual loom for every business. I would just keep improving my one main loom unless it was an offer I really wanted to land. It was a really good offer and I wanted to give them a custom one. You can, but generally you want to have just a one intro video that you can use for the like 90% plus of your job opportunities. And you don't got to sit there in one day and record 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess it was more like 30 takes, of like one just to make it
Yeah.
look better. Because it's like I'm going through it and then like I like pause way too long and then I'm just like, damn, now I gotta redo it. So then I'm like doing it again. And then I'm like, well, it sounded better last time. So like let me try to re-get that in there. And then it's just these constant like, you know what I mean?
It does, and that's the thing, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Um, make it, start using it, and over the next few days, just improve it. You know what I mean? The one thing, and
Oh,
that's, and that's one thing that I added that's good about the rep select profile to add my own bias here is, with Loom, when you send out a Loom video, that's the video they get, right? And if you improve it and make a better video, all the people you sent it to before, they don't get the new video. It's only the people you send this new video to get that one. So one thing that's really good about the RepSelect profile, it's free to create one. If you upload your Loom to that and then send the profile, every time you update that 1 minute video because you just made a better one, everyone that has that URL, they get the updated version now. So it's everyone always has the newest 1 minute video that you created, if that makes sense.
oh,
So that might be
just
one way to go about it.
okay, cool. Yeah, like I'm first is good. That video
Sorry, you're cutting out. I can't hear you too well.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. What'd you say?
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is that pretty make or break like that Loom
Absolutely.
video for like a hiring manager?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time I've worked with any type of recruiters, business owners, the first thing they do is they watch like the first 5 to 10 seconds of the 1 minute video, then they make their decision and move on, or they select to hire that or like to interview that person. It's like your 1 minute video is your resume, pretty much.
Okay. So we do want to like get that as like dialed in as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. But take a break,
Yeah.
man. If you're like super burnt out, don't keep trying to take more takes. Just take a break, go for a walk, film it tomorrow. You know, you don't need to do it all in one day. Take a couple takes, see how it is. If your energy's not there, do whatever you need to do. Watch a funny video, something to get your energy back, and then start recording again.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to take a break.
100%, man. Joseph,
All right,
you got a
man.
question?
Thank you.
No
Do you
problem.
think Zach Brown would be cool if because I know that's part of his pipeline. He asked for you to submit a resume. Do you think he'll be cool if I give him my RepSelect link?
Yeah, I'd say so. I showed him the platform. He likes it. He liked the profile. So yeah, I'm sure he'd be fine with holding on to that link, and it gets updated pretty consistently. So yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
I'm gonna do that. Thanks.
Cool. Well, I will end it there for today, guys. Hopefully everyone learned something. Hopefully everyone got some good help. Feel free if you have any questions to shoot them in the community. Myself and other people are happy to help, happy to answer any questions you guys have. I'll see you guys next Monday.